if you just watch that post-fight moment with Adesanya and Du Plessis, you might think that you were watching a Quentin Tarantino movie. And I'm not trying to come at you like one of those dudes from like the MMA Flunky or like Ariel Hawani or nothing like that. Don't get it twisted. Don't switch off your television yet. I think it was funny though. And I think it was actually John Morgan, the first question dude, which is surprising because you always think he's like, you think he got his first dude status like being a company man and whatnot, but he's like, hey, what do you think about the racialness of everything that's going on right now? And how do you feel about all the derogatory statements and all the undertones? My favorite part of it was that Dana White was like, the what? The who? Huh? What? Wait a minute. Racial? Who said something racial? There was racial. Something racial happened right now? Wait a minute. What are you talking about? He said the N-word? No. When did this happen? It was so dumb. Like, yeah, I understand his whole, like, who cares? It's the fight business. We're adults. This kind of stuff's gonna happen. It's gonna sound like a late night at Denny's. Like, this kind of stuff's gonna go on. Grow up. This is what you sign up for. This is what you pay the pay-per-view for. This is what are you not entertained or are you entertained? I always forget. I always try to quote that and I always tell you I haven't even seen the movie. I think it's are you entertained? But the fact that he was like, who? He said what now? What? Nah, you're lying. Like, if he wasn't at the fight, like, even if he disagreed and was like, it's all good, they could say whatever they want. The fact that he was acting like he didn't even know what they were talking about was hilarious. It was stupid, but it was hilarious. I think this is becoming something like, and I'm not telling you anything new. I'm just giving you like my very specific take on it. Like, in case anybody's interested whatsoever, because you guys are smart. Like, Ariel Hawani's been making MMA content for I don't know how long. I don't know. But that fool still has no idea who the MMA audience is. This fool thinks he's making content for BuzzFeed or something like that. This dude doesn't know who he's talking to. And the way that he's trying to villainize Du Plessis, and I'm gonna keep using it no matter what. It came up during the stream, and I'll shout you out if you want to. But you retracted your message, and you were acting like you did it, like you felt bad, and you don't want to say it. But if you show up in the comments, I'll pin you. Somebody came into the chat, and they were calling him Du Plessis, and I thought it was hilarious, and I wanted to use it in a video that Dricus fights like Du Plessis if he lost, but then he won and he ruined it. But I'm still gonna find a way to work it in. Adesanya has been doing everything that he could to make it more about color than the actual message of what Du Plessis was. The way that I interpret what Du Plessis was doing from the start, like his original intent, it kind of reminds me of like David or something like that. He's like, zeal for your house consumes me. Like, it kind of felt like he just always heard these other dudes talking about his homeland, and all these other dudes like, yeah, I'm African and I'm the champ and I'm African kings and we three kings of Africa are bearing titles, traverse so far. Like, we traverse so far away from Africa all the time because we want to build a different life for ourselves. Like, that's how he looks at these dudes. And he's like, what? I've been here. You guys, like, almost like if he feels like they're disrespecting his, like, that would be like, you know what actually people started doing? There's a bunch of websites that actually have started selling this that I should probably get in touch with. If you Google it, there are several websites right now that are selling this print. And they're putting Mexican martial arts. They're selling it for like outrageous amounts too. One of them I saw was like $100. I don't know if they saw my Black Friday deal when I made everything $100, and they were like, oh, that's how much they go for. And they did it, and they didn't realize what I was doing. But you can find them. There's a bunch of websites that sell this shirt that ain't me. And I feel like it's kind of like when I see that, I'm like, what? I've been doing this for years. I've been putting in the work, the blood, sweat, and tears. I've been writing, I've been shooting, I've been editing, I've been doing the research, I've been doing the colorful commentary. I've been, your boots on the, chanclas on the ground, and then boom, just like that. Oh, you're selling my shirt now? You're just trying to make some easy money? I feel like in a way, that's how Dricus felt. He's like, I was born in Africa. I don't care how I got here. I don't care who brought me. I don't care what was going on. I don't care what the tensions were. I was born here. What do you want me to do? I woke up and I'm here. I'm an African. And I train here and I fight here. And then when I have to leave and fight, I come right back. And he's like, and these fools are like, well, they're not even here. So I could understand that. I could understand that a little bit. Just like dudes that are like big old Twitch streamers and they have like a crazy following and then they just upload some of their clips to YouTube and they go viral. It's like, what? Dude, you're not even a YouTuber. You're just coming over here hijacking everything we work for. So I get that. But let's be honest, he probably did a little bit of baiting because he knows how Adesanya is. That fool's very emotionally unstable. He knew that if he threw something out there, he's like, well, I'm the real African or something like that. He knew what he was doing. So I'm not going to come at it from like Ariel Helwani. Sometimes he takes what happens in the MMA world and he acts like if this is a conversation that he overheard at like Forever 21. And he's like, wow, this is 2023. You guys are talking like this. Wow. Like this fool doesn't know it's entertainment. It's like he forgets the umbrella that all of this is under. Dricus had, I think he had those thoughts that I just laid out right now. But on top of that, I think he was also like, hey, this is the fight business. I'm trying to cut a promo. I'm trying to call this dude out. I know he's very emotional. I know he takes a lot of pride in this whole thing and the culture and what he wants to cling to and his roots and all that. So I'm going to take that angle. It worked. He got the fight. And I'm not trying to make this is not an Ariel video. I didn't really mean to talk about Ariel at all in this video. But it's hilarious. I saw his video and he's talking about how he doesn't have a horse in the race. Dude hired a speech pathologist just so that he could learn how to say Adesanya. It's sad. Every time he says it, every time he interviews Adesanya, he's like, Israel Adesanya. Like, are you proud of me? Israel Adesanya. He's always trying to get that fool's approval. It's weird. And then apartheid was brought up. And look, I'm going to claim ignorance on this. I'm not trying to come in here like a historian and act like I know everything. I just want to bring it up. I want to give my limited take on it. And I'm open to be corrected if you have any feedback for me. But this is what I learned in the 2 minutes of research that I did. It sounds like bottom line, basic, bare bones. Apartheid was basically, there's probably a lot more that went into it, but it was basically that in South Africa, apartheid was like what was happening with whites and blacks in America around that same time with the segregation and all that kind of stuff, and didn't have the rights to do this and to do that. It sounds like it was the same thing. You know, people being treated unfairly here in America it's like apartheid was that, but just in South Africa. That's what it sounds like to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. After learning that, my thought was, I don't think that it's colonialization that Adesanya has a problem with. Because if it was colonialization that Adesanya had a problem with, he would go around the United States all the time yelling at all the white people because, hey, you're not Native American. And then he would yell at the Native American saying, you're not the Clovis people. Hey, I know my history, fool. I went on Wikipedia like after the apartheid thing. And apparently the Clovis people might have even been here first. And that's right there by Fresno. So that's crazy. I didn't even know that the roots were like that close by. But it seems like more than colonialization, he has a problem with white people. I don't think it's apartheid and colonialization and moving from this to I think he has a problem with white people. That's what it seems like to me. That's what it seems like he makes apparent in everything that he says, especially the way that he was spamming the N-word. The way that he came in spamming the N-word. I did my research on that as well. I did like 6 minutes total of research before this video. I was looking up, where did the N-word come from? Who could say the N-word? What does the N-word mean to these and that people? What does the N-word mean if you say to those people? If you say the N-word over here, my search history looks like Mike Perry's right now. And I found out that if you go to Africa and you say the N-word, they're like, what is this? What? Africa? The N-word? I'm not actually say the N-word. I turn a little bit. I'm like a African Arab right now. I don't know how to do accents. I don't know how to do impersonations. But if you go to Africa and you say the N-word, they'll be like, what? What's the N-word? They think the N-word means the river. They don't know what that means. Because the N-word is an American thing. Unfortunately, it's a cultural thing. It's an American thing. You try to use the N-word in Africa, and it's like that one. Remember that movie Mean Girls? With that word when they were trying to make fetch happen. Right now, that's like Adesanya. He's like that one girl. And all the Africans are like, Adesanya, stop trying to make the N-word happen. It's not gonna happen. That's what he's trying to do right now. They don't know what it means. It's an American thing. So him trying to bait Du Plessis, saying the N-word, 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 let's go do it 57 and me, N-word, N-word, let's go do it 89 and me, N-word, N-word. That's just showing, like, it's like every time he opens his mouth, he shows how, like, less African he is. Like, less African than before every time he opens his mouth. Because that's not even an African thing. He's trying to equate the N-word with being African. And then I don't know if this is a thing. This is something that I noticed. I don't know if anybody else noticed this. I didn't hear anybody else talk about this, but I just thought it was interesting. I don't know if Du Plessis was trying to bait even more and trying to get a little more. I don't know. But Adesanya was like, N-word, my brother, my African brother. And then Du Plessis was like, I might be African, but I ain't your brother. And I was like, hey, what did you say brother or did you say brother? Like, is this a color thing again? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting the way that he said that. I'm African, but I ain't your brother. Like, I just thought that was weird. And then another thing, Du Plessis called him son, which I know in certain situations can also seem demeaning, like kind of like a talking down, like son. Like, I know that was a thing. Like, it's not, I don't think it's as bad as like boy, but son. And then I'm not your brother. I don't know. And I'm not trying to come after Du Plessis. I'm just saying for what they're already doing and how deep they already are, it's kind of smart. Again, UFC, WWE merger. This is what it's all about now. It's entertainment. And you might like it. You might not like it. You might be rooting for this dude. You might be rooting for that dude. But are you not entertained? I messed it up again. Wait, is it? Tell me in the comments. Is it, are you entertained? Or is it, are you not entertained? I think I'm saying it like Chandler Bing. I think it's, are you entertained? I don't know. But Adesanya's making it all about color right now. He's making himself look stupid. Adesanya is like when you ask someone, what's your favorite Gatorade? And he says red. That's what he's doing right now. He's taking it in the complete wrong direction. But at the end of the day, this is what we're here for. I don't understand what Ariel's tripping about. That fool's bleeding fans just like Adesanya. That fool's making himself seem like an emotional wreck. And you don't know which one I'm talking about right now because they're both doing it. But we're watching, and whether you condone that type of behavior or not, it's going to keep us watching more. Because it's dramatic, and it's entertaining, and it's exciting. And I'm not making my pick right now. I'm not saying that Adesanya is going to win just because he's an emotional wreck, and he came in there. Yeah, Joe Rogan and DC were like, that dude was drunk. He's tipsy. And Joe Rogan was right there with the mic. He could smell it on his breath. And he was slurring. If you go back and watch it again, you can hear he was slurring. That dude's always drinking. I don't know if it's like a Kiwi thing or what. Those dudes love to drink. Every time they cut to Adesanya, he's drinking. He's drinking on the plane. He's drinking right there outside the mat when he's training on the embeddeds. He's chucking alcohol at the cameraman all the time. Dirty vato. He's always drinking. So he went in there all pedo. I'm not blaming it on that. He probably would have acted just the same if he wasn't. But I'm not basing my pick on any of this because he went into the fight emotional against Pereira the second time too. And he won that one. So that's not what this video is about right now. I just thought it was hilarious how Dana White was acting. And I think it's very interesting that every single time Adesanya opens his mouth, he seems even less African. So now that fool is Chinese, he's New Zealandish, he's Nigerian, and he's American because of the whole N-word thing. And that's very American, unfortunately. I just want to say that I think that it's very weird how Israel Adesanya has always been a big old opportunist, going to the places that made sense for him and taking the things that he wanted and needed to fulfill his needs and to make him a success no matter what the cost. Just like he outwardly, blatantly said to Ariel Helwani, and I put it in one of my breakdown videos a while back. He told him, I went to China. I sold my soul to China. I was doing the whole Chinese thing and burying the flag and all that because it was basically like signing with the Lakers. They paid me a bunch of fat money and they made me feel like a star. He said that. If you didn't see my video, go back and watch it. I think it was on the prediction video leading up to the Pereira fight, or in the post video, the breakdown. I can't remember. And if you don't want to give me any more views and you don't want to watch it because you're mad at me right now because you're not a Adesanya fan, go look it up on YouTube. Adesanya and Ariel Helwani interview China, something like that. It'll come up. Big ol' opportunist, always just going where the money was, where the fame and the fortune was. Always trying to find that little leprechaun. That's what he's been doing out there the whole time. But then when the other dude was there from the get and he's staying there, he's like, wait, I belong there just as much as you do. Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something very important that we all learned from the prophet Rakim when he said, hey, Adesanya, it ain't where you're from. It's where you're at, homie.